Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching. My name is Yadira. If you are new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. In today's video, I do want to get started with setting up my Bujo or my bullet journal for 2025. Bujoing, wait, is that even something I can say? It kind of sounds a little bit odd, but bullet journaling, ing, is something new for me for 2025. I've never done it, at least to this particular capacity, so I am hoping to be successful. I didn't get this done earlier in the year, but it's never too late to start something, right? So this is my 2025 bullet journal that you see right here, and I got this one from Michael's. It's not very expensive. I think it's like $9.99 regular price, and I did use a coupon, so I got it for like $7.99, something like that. Not too expensive at all, and it's this pretty faux leather blush pink pearly sort of color. It does have two built-in bookmarks in this ribbon, two different colors, very nice, and this stretch little thingy to keep it all together. This side hook for a pen to be if you want to carry it and use this as a journal, you most definitely can. The inside does feature a side pocket that is pretty generous to hold any of your washies or cutouts or things. And speaking of cutout, I do have this cutout from a magazine that I'll show you as we'll get to that page or that spread. But coming in, this journal does feature a table of contents if you want to use it in that manner. Also, very quick, I'm going to have everything linked down below in case you're interested in anything. But this is the Artist Level 2 Journal Carnet, the 80-pound or 120 GSM, 180 pages. This is a 6-inch by 8-inch journal, and I love how every page is numbered in the corner, because I was looking through some and they're just blank, which if you do want to use the table of contents, it's very helpful. But for me, I might use it as a color chart for my Tombow dual brush pens instead. I feel like that might be more useful to just kind of put in the color swatch, the numbering, and the brand if I ever do expand outside of my Tombow markers. Like I mentioned, this is my first time using a bullet journal, and I think that there's probably some thicker page journals out there if you are seasoned. I did do some pre-mapping of some of the pages, and it's fine. Nothing has passed through the pages. I also did do like a little sketch in the back because it does have test pages, and none of my Tombow markers bled through. So at 120 GSM, it's not bad, and I feel like it might be nice. And also, this particular Pilot mechanical pencil, it has a 0.3 fine tip lead, so it is borderline a weapon, so be very careful. I haven't like hurt myself accidentally with it, but it is very sharp, very like fine tip. So just a fair warning if you are interested in this particular pencil of what you might be expecting. Mentioning that just to confirm that it did not tear through any of the pages. I had concerns of the actual thickness, but they are fine. I mean, for what you get, it's not a bad journal at all. Again, I am a newbie and I primarily just got it for the color. And this is the number. If you want to get this one, I'll have it linked down below. If you actually wanted to use the table of contents and also a color chart, it does come with a key page, which is neat. You can fill in with some of the different colors or markers that you might have. Now, this is the only page, unlike the contents where it does give you more pages, so you may be reduced to some of your favorites. So with only having one key page, it does immediately share with the first page of your journal. So this is where I'm starting. I didn't want it to be like this is the notebook of so and so, if you find it, please return sort of thing. So I'm just getting straight into it. I wanted it to be a little bit of a fantasy, princessy, romantic sort of vibe. As we go through more pages, that kind of sort of changes because it just took me a very long time to draw this out. First to even pick what it is that I even wanted it to have, and then to fill in the space. So yes, it does kind of change, but for now, this was my welcome page and I was quite happy with it. So I just kind of went with it. And I had some very old bridal magazines laying around, so I took a lot of the clippings from those. I thought that the flowers I drew here could be a little bit better, and to fill in the space, I just took that bouquet from my bridesmaid and I'm gonna use it on my cover page to make it a little bit more cohesive with the rest of the pages. Yeah, I just have a few of my micron pens here. I have a set of, what is this, maybe 5 or 6 picture right here, so that you know which set is the one that I particularly have. But basically I'm just gonna work on making my own micron pen key page, and just so that I have a guide of which ones I actually want to use at different stages of the outlining of my cover page. I'm also going to just start with the speeding of the process, otherwise we will be here for many more days to come. So just a little bit of a warning on the viewing speed. Sometimes I wish I can work this fast, but I just don't. And also right here, another fine tip micron. So fine. Look at that. That's my little summary of, just in case you also want this set. I guess it's helpful for both of us at this moment. All right, so we're committing. We are putting the ink on the paper and we're rolling with it. Starting off with the little loops and the tail of what will be a beautiful bow sort of banner. Can I call it a banner? So some of the graphics on this particular page, while I did think of the original idea, I had help from Pinterest as to actually how to put the idea on the paper. The bows, that was from Pinterest, and the crochet. I had a hard time deciding exactly on what did I want the crochet to look like. Did I want to have a pedestal? Did I just want it to be a cover on just the ground? Like, what was it that I wanted it to look like? So I did have to go in to kind of spark my imagination as to what I wanted it to be. Credit to Pinterest for having a plethora of drawing ideas. Now, I'm not perfect, so I did have to use Jelly Roll 3-pack. I'm using the white to help me with some of my mistakes from using the micron pen, so it's acting as my whiteouts. I have a tiara. It is actually sitting on a small stack of books. Books are some big part of 2025 for me, and I wanted to get away from the blue screen and I want to replace that with reading. These books are by Kira Cass, part of her selection series, book 1 being The Selection and book 2 The Elite. I have read book 3, which is called The One, and I've read a little bit of book 4 called The Crown. I honestly liked the first 3 of the selection series, hence the reason why I didn't continue on. I want to say that there's 5 books in total. By my standards, it could have been a trilogy and been perfect. Let me know which are your favorite books. I will also try to put the timestamps down below just in case one particular spread category speaks to you a little bit more than the rest, or the entire bullet journal setup that I am doing here. I did do this through a course of a few days, and you will see that as my shirt sleeves change here. Try to dedicate anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour each evening to complete my journal. A lot of hours of footage, and I was actually able to compress it down nicely, mostly due to just changing the speed. So don't be fooled. I'm sure there's some people out there that could definitely put their bullet journal together in 2-3 hours. I didn't have it in me. Like, cherish that time because I would have been scrolling mindlessly through social media. So I'm taking wins for this. Or if you already completed it, let me know, how long did it take you to get through your notebook? Like I said, it's well into 2025, but it is most definitely not late to start with a bullet journal if that's something that you would like to do. On another note, you might have noticed, but I did change over to a different microphone some minutes back, so you might have noticed the difference. I already started putting a little bit of color, and I did want to mention this is the actual eraser that I was using. I didn't show it in every single page. After I'm done with my micron pen, I am going through getting rid of those pencil marks just to kind of make it look color book-esque, like it was always there. I just needed to color in the lines of this preset page. Now, quite honestly, you don't have to erase them because it doesn't look bad, at least in my opinion. Basically, clean up the edges just a little bit before adding the color and make it look just a little bit more cohesive. That is one tip that I can give you as far as bullet journaling goes. Now, again, I'm not an expert, and like I mentioned, it doesn't look bad. And even just here now, like going over the "it's a new season" letters, it doesn't look bad, right? Like I haven't erased the pencil yet, so totally up to you. Again, you don't have to do it. It is time consuming if you do, but I kind of committed and I did like the end result. I miss talking about it, but I got rid of my flowers, at least the ones that I drew on the paper. My particular eraser was very good at removing it, so I do like this eraser. As I'm adding the color here, it brings more life, and I am liking every step of this page fully into what I envisioned it to be. Girly, very beautiful, a little bit of whimsical and fairy tale that if you have something in mind to accomplish or have it be achieved at some point in time, it can most definitely happen. My little mirror here off to the side, it does say "once upon a time," kind of fits the little story vibe. And I do want to say, if you have not read the selection series, the colors that I picked for those books are the colors of the covers of the actual books, well, as closely possible to the Tombow markers that I already had within my collection. But as I went to the World Wide Web to go find the two books to show you, I remembered a moment that I had with the selection series. And so some years back, I was still living at my parents' house and I was reading my book one. After I was done with book one, I set it down on this ledge that I had by my window. So I'm reading book two at this point, and I guess I didn't realize it that maybe the window wasn't shut all the way, but it like rains terribly one day and my book one gets wet. I'm done with book two and I had already purchased book three, so I was getting ready to put book two on the ledge. That's whenever I made the discovery. So then I'm like, okay, what do I do? Like I already finished reading it, like I don't necessarily need it again, but I love the series. So I did go to Barnes & Noble and I bought book one again. So at that moment in time, I had these three books in my collection. So I guess that's one story. Now, the second part of that is that, you know, I move and I have this bookcase and I arrange them. It looks beautiful, pretty. So I move again to my current home and same. I set up my office and my bookcase and everything, and it looks very nice. But in some dark day, I look at my bookcase and I decide that it looks a little bit too girly, a little childish. I needed to move some of the books that were there that I had finished some time ago and I wasn't like rereading. They were just literally sitting there as like memories or something. I grab a box and I put like, I don't know, 20 books in there, like most of my book collection at that moment. I put it in there. I take it to half price books and a lot of them were in very good condition. I remember the lady was like, "Are you sure you want to sell these?" So I was like, "Yeah." Like I guess I kind of felt like my bookcase was looking cluttery, or I don't know. So I sold them for like $6, the entire stack, and I had no regrets. I was happy. I'm like, I have space, can redecorate, I can, you know, put some awards here. I had this idea that maybe I can start putting my handbags from there. But I also have a window there, so I was like, no, I don't want it to be like in the handbag space. I just kept my handbags where they are now. So I moved my books to another place in the house. My books go out of sight, out of mind, right? I'm not grabbing them, they're just sitting. Enter 2025, actually late 2024. And my book cravings start all over again. So I was like, wow. Kind of wondering, like, how do I move on? Do I just start a new book collection fresh, or do I bring in this particular series that's, you know, it got me into books? I don't know. It's like a dilemma that I currently have, and they're not expensive. It's somewhere between like $15-$20 a book. Whenever I got them, I want to say it was like $10.99, but this was years ago, close to the time that these books were released. So yeah, it's been some time. Maybe if they come out in a special edition cover, you know, has like spread edges or something pretty like that, I would consider it. But I don't know, like, what would you do, or what have you done in the past if you have faced something like this? So switching to a different topic, we are in a new page now, and this one has a heading that used to say "Rise and Shine, Darling," and it did not fit in my notebook, so I did have to cut it down to what I thought was the best part of that phrase, which was "Shine, Darling." And this particular spread is going to be my yearly spread. I did get this from Anna Bruns. I will link her video down below. I want to say this was probably her 2024 or maybe her 2023 bullet journal setup. So I liked the way she had it down, and I basically took down that entire idea. Well, not all of it, because I think hers is like book related, to where mine, I'm gonna have yearly statistics according to what I'm tracking in my particular bullet journal. So for me, I have finances as well as just habits in this particular spread. So month after month, come back to this spread and tally the summary for these categories. I do think it looked very nice and very thankful for the idea as well. Flipping over the page to this next spread, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is the beginning of what am I tracking for 2025. This would be my savings challenge. Took it upon myself to put a goal of what is it that I want to do each week. Each week I do want to set aside $400, and should I be successful with this challenge, at the end of the year I should have set aside $20,800 US. So feel free to do this exact savings challenge with me. Now I will say I am not going to hold myself too accountable for it. Like, I don't have anything in particular that I want to do the savings for. So I am giving myself a little bit of space, and I have done a savings challenge in the past. And if I ever missed a particular week, all I did was the following week, I just set aside that past week plus that current week. So I still essentially pay myself back. And you can do this in any increments. So you can do maybe like $50 a week or $25 a week, $100 a week, $250, $1,000, whatever is within your means, or whatever is going to help you reach whatever end goal that is, whether you're trying to buy a new car, get a down payment for a home, or whatever. Set that budget to help you reach your goal. Now, if you are not doing any sort of financing tracking within your bullet journal, you can also do this to habit track other things, like how many pages out of a book are you reading each week. If you're tracking fitness, so you can do your weight fluctuation week after week, or you can do how many steps are you doing each week, or calorie counting. It can be for different things, not necessarily for savings, but this is the spread that I did for the week to week tracking that I would do for that challenge. I think it's a great spread, and just very quickly, it is 12 different boxes, one per each month. It has 3 columns. One would be the date, the next would be the amount, and the third would be the total for the running balance that I'll have as the weeks progress. And I am filling in off to the left side of each box the number of week that we're in. And I do find out that I kind of messed up in some of the months, like my December, I was highlighting every other line just so that I can be more like a general ledger sort of feel, but I totally messed up on the, every other line thing. So yeah, just very simple, straightforward spread to help me with that tracking throughout the year. And hopefully I am successful. And also, I just came to me, but if you are using this spread, since it's a year at a glance, you can also do it for birthdays or like special events that are happening throughout the year. That'll be a good one for this one too. And then I clipped this out of a magazine. There was really not a lot of titles I could pick off of a wedding magazine whenever it came to a savings. I think it's nice. I did want to say that even though as of publishing this video, it is no longer January or not even December ahead of 2025, I have started this, and whenever I do fill in my January and February, some of these numbers will be filled in because I've already started doing it at the start of the year. This next page is going to be a spend tracker, and I decided that I wanted to do it for journaling because this is a newfound hobby for 2025, and I want to see how it is that I'm doing. I don't have a particular budget for it because it's just to kind of see, did I hyperfixate on journaling or was I content, right? I do have a lot of scrapbooking sort of things. So I don't think that I need to buy too much. So I just have a date, product description, and total. And these next 2 pages that you're actually seeing right now are going to be the exact same columns, but they're going to be tracking beauty and books. For beauty, I actually do have a cap for 2025, and that is to spend under $100 for beauty, like cosmetics, right? Not necessarily skincare, because if I need a face wash, then I need a face wash. So like foundation, lipstick, mascara, concealer, things that I would find at Sephora, right? Minus the skincare. So that is what I have here. I do have my little graph at the top is going up in fives. So every little, I guess, bullet on my journal is a marker of 5. So I do have 0, 20, 50, 75, 100, and 125. In my journaling spread, my markers were in $10 increments. And in my book tracker page, I don't have a budget for books for 2025 because books are something that I want to replace blue screen time with. So, I mean, if I finish all my books, fantastic. And if I need to buy more, whatever gets me off the screen, great. So we're just tracking how much we're spending there. So for this one, I went up in $15 increments and my last number is 375. I did kind of leave the side panels a little bit open if I have to go over on either category. I do have that flexibility. On to the next page, and this is a page that honestly got tricky for me, and I wanted it to be a little bit more organized. And as I put everything together, I realized I didn't have a proper bucket for what I wanted to have this spread represent. So this is going to be my luxury wish list, sort of not a tracker, but just envisioning like what is it that I would like to add into my collection. I guess very much like a dashboard or mood board sort of thing. I really wanted you to do this particular spread because I found it on Pinterest and I love the way it was organized. But quite honestly, the way the Pinterest had it representing is a better layout and purpose for this particular version of a spread. But I try to work with it, and it doesn't turn out to be quite unfitting. Like it's still okay. Whenever I do my January, February fill-ins, you'll be able to see exactly how it turns out. But for now, it's just the actual layouts, and these are the colors that I did use for that spread. This particular page right here is going to be a bingo and a word search. These are going to go hand in hand with everything that is in my journal, from wish list goals to fitness, also books, and just, day-to-day things. I haven't finished the word search side because I haven't filled in my wish list completely. Once I get that down, I will have that filled out. But for now, I'm going to skip it and move on to the next one. So right here, I'm going to draw out the year. So I do have 3 months in one page and 3 on the other for top and bottom. And that is how I have my 12. Now I did kind of get this idea from Katie is reading. I was looking back through my screenshots and it's not exactly the same, but I guess the concept at the end of the day would be similar in the sense where this page in the center where I have that one at the top and then at the bottom and then flip you have another month and another month. I will be cutting that in half, and that blank page I will be using it for my key. And you guessed it, I made errors in December and April and I'm sure another month, but the white jelly pen works. So this spread is going to end up being my handbag diary, where every month or every day I will be logging exactly what handbag I'm using. This would be just to kind of know what are my favorites and what are my habits. Typically I do 1 to 2 handbags per month. Now in January, looking back and knowing what I am going to be putting in there, it's a little bit interesting. I had a few different handbags, more than the usual for that particular month, but for February, happy to announce that my regular habits have resumed and likely to be just one handbag primarily for the entire month. My ID key right here is going to be primarily Louis Vuitton because that's mostly what I have within my handbag collection. So I'm just writing down all of the handbags that I have. In a sense, here is my handbag collection in just a few short seconds worth of time. My handbag anything videos are just me talking to no end, and some people are like, girl, just get straight to the point. I would love to, but there's just things that I like talking about and there's no end. Sorry. 20 handbags will be going into this ID key. For now, I did leave some space, room for growth. The backside will be a mix of different brands as well, so they're not all LV. So you'll get to see some of my non-luxury handbags as well, which I can definitely do a video if you would like to see those up close and personal because I really don't talk about them too much, but I do definitely have them a part of my collection. If you notice, I am doing a micro circle, and that is going to be a circle that I color code with a Tombow marker, and I'm also going to put the code of the color written on there because I'm finding that I have a lot of colors that's in the packaging. They look like they would be a particular tone on paper, but they end up being something different. So I found that I needed to write down the code so that I would eventually remember. Like if I'm filling in my handbag in November, I mean, I need to know what I was thinking whenever I was filling this in at the beginning of the year. So it's helpful. And right here, I kind of make a mistake, but I quickly switch it, right? I've been trying to find the perfect handbag to color code in this crimson color, and as soon as I thought that I had it down, I could not commit, but I did find a home for it, and I associated with my on the go in the MM size. Would it have been paired better with a different bag? Probably, but this is what I ended up with. And so at this particular time, I have already run out of my Tombow colors, so I am resorting to some other colored pens that I have, and I kind of gave up first because it was a yellow that you really couldn't see. Second, because I thought that I really just prefer the Tombow markers instead, like the dual brush tips. I will be heading back to the store, or I actually did go back and bought more, and I will be showing that in like a minute so that you can see exactly what I did get. But because this is a handbag diary, I am drawing a little handbag here. It's very iconic silhouette, none other than the Chanel. But the way I colored it in is like a tweed style. Did I go overboard? Probably. Could I just settled on a black or gray or caramel or beige? Yes, but more is better apparently. And then here's my little diary notebook, and I don't fill in the top because I will be putting washi tape on this corner. And then I am just going to decorate it a little bit more with some sprinkles. Basically just dots and stars all over the page, and that is pretty much in a nutshell what my handbag diary spread looks like. Of course, after I do secure my ID key with washi on this side so that I have it here forever and a half to reference for the entire year and years to come. I think this is a very great spread idea if you want to track something, like for example, how often do you wear your sneaker collection, right? Or like which are your favorites if that's something that you collect, or jewelry, right? Like how often are you using like that watch or that bracelet or whatever it is. It's pretty cool to just kind of get not only a sense of what you use the most, but also what are your favorite styles, silhouettes, and things that you gravitate towards most often. And here I am filling in a quote from none other than Coco Chanel. You live but once, you might as well be amusing. Coco Chanel. And I did draw a Chanel, and then I'm also mentioning Chanel, and that is because I would like to use that as my next purchase inspiration. I don't know, possibly have it acquired at some point in 2025. My 2025 luxury wish list will have a Chanel item or two or three, something in there. I've had a few items in my wish list for some time now, and in recent months, I guess I can say, I've been getting a little bit more serious about it, in the sense where I'm actually approaching the store and checking out the styles in person, at least the ones that I find available, because some of these are like hard to come by to kind of get a feel and sense of what it looks like on you. I've had some styles in particular in mind that I would want to get, but I've had the opportunity to try them on, and it's kind of a different feel in person. So we shall see what my handbag acquisition looks like for 2025. But yeah, that's the idea. Now, keeping on with the handbag theme, this particular spread is going to be just showcasing my monthly favorites. So any one handbag that gets featured the most throughout the month, I will take a picture of it and put it here. So these are going to be in 4 shelves, 3 bags in each shelf, and I would be interested to see if there's a trend. Like, do I like one particular bag for 2, 3, 4 months out of the year more than others? Like, what is this gonna look like? Honestly, I do think that I might have one handbag that kind of repeats maybe twice, like month-wise during the year, but I don't know. And so far, the bag that I used the most in January compared to the one bag that I have used the most in February, it's kind of a tie. So it'll be very interesting to see, because while those bags are sort of in the same category in terms of how you can carry it, they're not exactly the same bag. So, interesting. But I do think it might be a top handle, the one that I end up featuring in this particular page that I am doing, which will be the handbag of the year. So I kind of did similar banner to like the one that I used in my welcome page, I guess you can call it. And then I'm just doing a little stage. We shall see which one we featured. Here I am doing some lines because I couldn't decide if I wanted to have just like a space for writing freely at the end of the year, or if I wanted to do maybe like some bar graphs of, you know, my total of each bag and the usage of it. But I don't know, because I do have that data in my little calendar in the spread right before it. So I don't know, for now I'm just leaving it as little lines here. So these are my monthly handbag and handbag of the year pages. Okay, so this next page is the start of another topic. This one I want to say probably has the most number of pages that I create. At least today at the end it would be a different category who would be the winner in terms of how many pages is taken up in my journal. But this is gonna be fitness. So right here I am doing my 75-day soft challenge. I didn't want to do the 75 hard because I would like to say that I'm disciplined enough for it, and I probably deep down am. I don't believe it right now. Like, I have to do 75 soft, and that would be good for me. And also, I kind of found myself whispering, and that's because my husband is asleep in the other room, and I can totally walk across the house and go prop myself in a little corner just so that I won't disturb him, but I think he's awake. So, back to our sort of regular tone of still not shouting at the top of my lungs. Of course, I was talking about the spread, and this is going to be my 75 soft, and off to the side on the left, I did do a sequence of boxes. This is going to be the many days that I can work out before I have to start the challenge. Now, as of crafting this particular page in relation to the day of the year, most of January has happened, but I was due in January, so I kind of gave myself some space there. I wanted to target, you know, the first Monday of February, but let me just be honest, I have yet to start the challenge, and it has been close to a month since I started drawing and, you know, the actual footage that you see. So I would like to start on a Monday, and I am going to be starting it here because I did add a few more boxes to whatever I had already initially drawn here. So we're getting to the end. Like, I need to start this challenge. So it is coming soon, and I'm not completely afraid of it. It's just, I don't know, I want a perfect day. Like, it needs to be sunny or something outside. It's been cold, and I have to do an indoor workout and an outdoor workout. So I'm blaming the weather. Second page with the beautiful title. I do have what my challenge will consist of. So 4 different metrics. These boxes are 3 rows of 20, and one will be the 4th row is 15 to equal 75 available spaces, 1 per day that I will be marking off. And I want to track 4 different things. 100 ounces of water per day. It should be more, but this is what I am opting to do as my metric. And then 7,000 steps per day. Yes, again, should be more, but I'm doing 7. And then an outdoor workout, as well as reading 10 pages per day. And then I did do this little window where I'm going to put my before and after photos. And if you would like to do the challenge, I think it's a good setup for you to consider if you are doing the 75 hard or soft challenge. Now, this next spread, again, is another fitness one, and I am going to be a little bit more free range with whatever it is that I do here. I'm not going to be as strict as I was with that prior page, and that is just me adding little boxes here of what are some of the different workouts that I like to do, and I'm going to be able to tally down what it is that I do on this next page to help me see exactly what are my favorite types of workouts that I gravitate towards, instead of just me thinking I feel like I do this one often, that's my favorite sort of thing. So I did start off with labeling some of these boxes, and I did jump rope, spin class. Well, not necessarily an actual spin class. I do have a spin bike here at home, and I usually follow a YouTube video to be able to use it. I just labeled it as spin class, but it's just spinning. All right, so the 3rd box is outdoor walk. My 4th, I labeled it as running. And right here off to the side, I am numbering 35 boxes at the top, 35 boxes at the bottom to equal 70. So the boxes off to the left side do have 70 spaces within. And so then I am going to continue to use this particular page where I pre-cut my little window in the prior page, and I'm going to do another window. And I would like this to house more photos. Ideally, after I'm done with with the first set of 35, and then again after I'm done with the second. In quick intermission, I did make my way to Michael's to get more dual brush pens because I needed 3 for my handbag spread that I had done earlier. So I could have used a different kind of marker that I had already in my collection, but I wanted them to be Tombow markers. So I didn't just get 3, I got 2 new packs. So I got a pastel set as well as one called lettering. Both of these have beautiful colors that I will link these 2 sets down below just in case you're interested. And then I did run out of my transparent tape and I got another one by Tombow this time. And I honestly, I like the one that I was using prior, which I will link the both of them. Put them down in the description bar and I will put a star next to the one that I prefer, which I had gotten from my local Walgreens, I believe. And I do want to say that Michael's had a great selection of, transparent little tapes, but they had an overwhelming amount. Like, I didn't know what to pick. So I just went with one from Tombow. This is a permanent one. Again, I'll link them down below. Continuing on with the spread that I was doing before my battery died, I did put a quote on my little window here from Theodore Roosevelt. That quote says, "Believe you can and you're halfway there." I thought it was fitting because this is a workout spread, and usually with workouts you want to give up. To not only make my spread a little bit cute, I'm also going to draw some more fitness equipment. I had already done it in my testing page, and that treadmill that I had drawn was based on the treadmill that I have at home. I just kind of took inspiration from my own equipment, and I do have a spin bike that in person looks very close to what my spin bike drawing here ends up looking like, but somehow I still needed to go through Pinterest to get some inspiration onto how to get the drawing on paper. I think that my spin bike ended up looking very nice, so cheers to that. And I do want to ask you, do you work out at home or are you someone who prefers the gym? And on that same note, are you someone who prefers equipment or are you one to use your own body weight? Basically share with me, what is your ideal workout routine? I did have some activities here listed that are some of my favorites whenever I don't have an actual plan that I am following. So my jump rope is not weighted. It probably should be, but I can always use like wrist weights or ankle weights to kind of help a little bit with that. Or spin classes. I like to watch YouTube videos. I have attended spin classes in person before and I do like them. I do find them efficient and I can see a difference, and I also feel like I am dying for like the first 45 minutes of the class, which is basically the entire class. And that's probably the, whole point of cardio, right? I found the ones that I would attend, while they were fantastic, it was quite of a distance from my home and it wasn't really convenient like the hours. So I bought a spin bike and I started just watching YouTube videos. I got my bike from Amazon. I mean, I don't know a whole ton about spin bikes, but this one's fine. I mean, it gets me through a workout class and I do break a sweat. I like a 90s pop ride by Gabriela Guevara that I play often, as well as Spin Junkie. She has a few that I like. I'll link those all down below. As far as like outdoor walk, I mean, self-explanatory. For running, I do follow a video in particular from Grow with Joe. It's like a 20-minute hit running session and I like it. I find it efficient, especially if you want to do cardio before like lifting weights or something like that. So again, I'll link that one down below, and also some videos from BMX running. I believe that's what it's called. Again, I'll link those all down below. And I did have Pilates listed down there as well. So some of the favorites YouTubers that I like to watch for Pilates, Bailey Brown is one. She has a lot of videos that I like to watch. She has a lot of like workouts that you can make into your own plan. So a lot of 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and all those sort of, shorter ones. Especially if you're pressed on time, it's good to just open one of those and do a quick 8 minutes something, right? Another person that I like to follow for Pilates is Pamela Reeve. I feel like she has a lot of dynamic movements with your body sort of exercises. So not exactly Pilates per se, but still a very much full body sort of, you're still activating your abs and your posture and all of that good stuff. So in a way, still Pilates, but not Pilates. And this spread that I'm working on right here is going to be a variety of different splits actually. So the folders are going to have 21 days within them, and then there is a bar at the top and a bar right underneath the second folder. That's going to be my rest days, and that is a block of 7. So my folders folder, including my little rest packet. That's going to be a 28-day split. So I have one folder and another folder that will be 28 days each. And then I do have 2 graphs right underneath them. Same, 2 more sets of 28s. So the unfilled lines are 3x7s. So again, 28 days. And then off to the side, I am going to do a different challenge. These are going to be columns of 10 days. I initially had wrote down 20, but then I started counting off all the different blocks from my 75-day forward and then realized that it was going to be longer than a year. So I'm like, okay, we're physically almost done with January, pressing February. There is no way that I can get these many days fit in 2025. Like, I need to be realistic. And that is why I built in rest days into my workouts. Now, on the prior pages, I didn't exactly write down like the literal space for rest, but I can always be mindful of, taking it slower. I mean, obviously I am going to be doing 75 days soft, which is, straight workouts. And I believe one day is a rest day. So 6 days on, 1 rest. So I can follow that same method for my 35-day, let's workouts, pink girly spread that I did right before this one. And then this one, obviously, I did put the rest days already there for my 10-day splits on the side. If you count it out a little bit better than what I did, of course, you can make this a 20-day split. But for me, I ended up picking a routine. So this is going to be 90 minutes. I know right now I only have 30-minute walks and 30-minute jump rope. But what you will see in a few minutes time is that I'm going to add 30-minute weighted sessions to this. So basically, I'm going to split my 4 columns that you see currently into 1, 2, 3, and 4 parts of my workouts. And I will be doing the first box as my outdoor walk, my second box as my weighted workouts, my third as my jump rope, and my fourth as my outdoor walk. The only thing that I haven't figured out quite this moment is whether I want to keep it as 90 minutes or if I want to take it a little bit further. So just stay with me for a little bit. I can do something like this. I can do a 15-minute walk, then do a 30-minute weighted session, and then a 30-minute jump rope session, and then a 15-minute outdoor walk. So that could be a total of 90 minutes of workout. Or, and here's the challenge and what I kind of need your help with. I can do a 30-minute walk, a 30-minute weighted session, a 30-minute jump rope, and a 30-minute outdoor walk after those 3 activities. So that would be 120 minutes. The only thing is like, how am I doing this? Am I doing an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening? If I am completely honest with myself, I prefer morning workouts. So this means I would have to get up at 5 in the morning for sure. 5 o'clock in the morning is not the, worst thing in the world. And I've totally done it. And I actually woke up at 5 in the morning today and I did not even work out. So I guess we can vote on it because after all, by the time I get to this particular spread in the year, it should be about like October, November-ish. So plenty of time to figure it out. Let me know, what do you think I should be doing? I am leaning towards 120 minutes, but I guess it's good that I wrote down 90 just in case I do change my mind by the time we have arrived this page in the year. Continuing on, or actually going back to the first page, so far I'm drawing my garden. I wanted to bring back some of that element that I had on my very first page of that fairy tale-ness and that charming sort of vibe. I had some flowers there and I wanted to bring some of that back. I thought it was a little bit weird to incorporate a garden or some version of it on a workout spread, but let's pause and think about this for just a moment. When you are working out, you're changing, you're developing, you are flourishing. So I was like, yes, it works. It ties into this spread fine, and I'm on the right track. So that's what I stuck with. Some little flowers. I have my little pot on one page. I have a little mason jar that I thought of putting dirt in there, but just thought it was going to look weird. So instead we have a mason jar with air I guess. I forgot to put water. Yikes. And I am kind of tiptoeing around the fact that I just put numbers on all of these boxes, and I did make an error. And that error was that I went straight down to number the 21 days on folder number 1, advanced over to folder number 2, and then I remembered about my rest days. So according to my workout calendar, my 28-day splits right here, I will be resting on day 188 through 194, and then again 195 to 201. Not logical, not reasonable. So somewhere in my 21-day splits, I'm going to have to remember to rest and circle that box that pertains to that. And same with the bottom little chart there. Here's just an overview of my 2 spreads. So I have what I feel is my beautiful second spread, and just me telling you, hey, I'm going to end at 345 days worth of workouts. So basically, I need to get started. I need to start my fitness journey and just simply don't look back. Just go for it full force, and it is what it is. But it would include rest days for sure. I did want to say that I don't have a fitness journey for like a particular weight loss goal, just so much to be healthy, to be honest. I should actually be paying attention to what I'm eating just so that I can actually get down in the scale. But most of the time, I just exercise just for movement, right? So we shall see how I end up at the end of the year, right? In this particular spread, because I obviously don't know how to count, or I just kind of got carried away with exercising for many days after the 365 allotted for 2025, I ended up transforming what should have been days worth of cubes into bars. So what I'm going to be doing is a summary of what are my favorite workouts and how do they stack up against my other favorite workouts. Basically, I'm not going to put any labels on these particular bars just yet because I do want to see if there's a trend, or I mean, I only put space for these 7. What if I find out that I like 9 different activities for working out instead of just 7? So I'm gonna just see what I can quantify here. The other part of it is I don't know in what increments to do this in, because like let's just say I like running and I did running for like 280 days worth of working out. These are 2 columns wide by 26 rows down, and so I don't know, I'm gonna have to find a good happy medium. Maybe I'll do increments of like 20 or maybe even 15. I don't know. I was really inspired by, you know, the month of love in February and how feminine and cute and girly that month is for me, at least in my mind. So a lot of those elements are within this page. So you'll see little hearts, and then for some reason I feel like cherries were trending, so I did draw 4 different cherries. So I have the dual at the bottom corner, I have one on top of my little, I don't know if I want to call it like a cheesecake or just a piece of cake, and then I have one in my little martini there. So cherries are featured in this spread. And also I do have some like confetti. I have little triangles and little circles throughout my page or around the bars that I drew there, the little bows with a ribbon to kind of tie it back to the beginning spread, and then my weight, being that this would be a summary of my favorite workouts for 2025. So just something simple, cutesy, girly. If you were to do this exact spread, let me know down below what is it that you would quantify on this one. Like, would it be like number of pages read or steps, money saved? You know, if you are in a budget on particular categories, like how would you use this one in your particular bullet journal? Oh, and I did miss talking about the gold border onto the side. Here, I feel like I would like to put my overall achievements when it comes to, I guess, like physical looks. Like, how did I change from my before I started being serious about working out for 2025 and then at the end? So some before and after pictures will go in here. I also kind of debated on whether or not I wanted to leave like a blank space just to kind of like write a summary to myself or how did I feel. But I opted for doing statistics page, and on the prior 75 soft spread, I just went in on my little window and I wrote down measurements just so that I can probably keep track of that. There's that option, but you will see in about 9 minutes from now that I do end up changing this just a tad bit, and I'll explain at that time. So the spread that I'm working on at the moment is a skincare sort of spread. So I want to keep track of this, not necessarily for a particular goal. I do have a lot of skincare devices that I should kind of be more focused on using using. I am very good at using one particular one, which I'm not even going to count on here just because it's kind of like a no-brainer for me. And that is my Ferrero Luna Play. It's like a little mini device that you kind of activate whenever you are using your face wash, and it just kind of helps get down to the barrier a little bit more. I don't know, it feels good and it makes my skin feel very soft and clean afterwards. So I do use it. So I am going to exclude that from this particular chart. And then spoiler, I mean, maybe not a spoiler, but I'm going to say it anyways. Spoiler, as it goes so far in the year, I have not used one single device or tool. I have obviously kept up with my skincare as far as removing your makeup and washing your face and putting a serum in the evening, in the morning, put moisturizer, like that sort of thing, but not like the whole sort of self-care hour or whatever it is. So I would be sort of sad whenever I'm not able to feel anything in this until like, I don't know, summer. So basically my little chart for my skincare that I did off to the right side, and that is what is taking up most of the page here. I have divided it by every day of the year basically. So I have a whole column for January, and then February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, obviously the whole months. And then I have rows going from 1 down to 31. This will be the days. And so my plan is, as we go through, like for example, if today is September the 1st and September the 1st happens to be a Friday, I will go in to my September 1st and put a little F so that I can kind of keep track of what days in particular am I leaning more towards my skincare. That would be fun to see at the end of the year if there's a trend on that. Down to the bottom, I did start labeling some of the devices that I want to keep track of. So far in my spread, I have my Beauty Bio Glow Pro, and then I also have my New Face Mini New Body Toning device that is also by the brand New Face, and then I have my Gua Sha by Shishu, my PMD microdermabrasion device, as well as my Derma Flash. And then I don't have it in here yet because I kind of forgot about it, and I guess I can tell you something. Well, I didn't actually forget about it. I do have it labeled in my first little box. But anyways, I will be putting in my Beauty Bio Cryo Roller. This is just an attachment that goes to my Beauty Bio Glow Pro device. So I guess I didn't forget it completely, but just to be a little bit more specific, when I fill in for my Glow Pro in the little pink box, which is the first one, that would be me identifying that I did the micro needling, whereas my Beauty Bio Cryo Roller, it would just be the roller for inflammation, lymphatic drainage, that sort of thing. Hopefully most of that chart will be colorful by the end of the year. And then my yellow box here, I labeled it as Mask Mondays just because I thought it like had a ring to it, but honestly I've been finding myself wanting to use a mask on like a Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm like, no, I have to wait until Monday so I can fill in my little bullet journal. So I might just break that little rule. My orange box would be for eyebrows and lashes, just whenever I do those service. I actually don't do that often, so my box is small. My pink box would be for nails, mani, pedi, and then my purple will be for whenever I go do something to my hair, haircut, hair dye, cover my grays, something like that. That second page is mostly blank because it's just going to be somewhere where I can just write anything, to be honest. So that's why most of it has a white space. I called it my mindful and wellness log. All right, so this next spread is going to be something kind of interesting to track, and that will be a food allergy tracker. So I found out that I am allergic to some things that I actually really liked and enjoy, but I can no longer consume because I would actually break out in hives. I would start like the whole sniffling, the puffy eyes, the runny nose, all of the allergy symptoms. And so just for a fun fact, I am allergic to black pepper, lettuce, Brazilian nuts, plum, and salmon. Literally, you can do a whole meal with that. How sad is that? And also, who is allergic to black pepper? Me. How weird is that? It's quite interesting whenever I have to tell like a restaurant. So I just really don't tell them. I just kind of suffer. I can always take like a Zyzol or even like an Allegro afterwards. So it's totally fine. I'd rather do that than to just kind of inconvenience the chef. I feel like especially if you go to like a lot of steakhouses, they might have the meat like pre-prepped. I do know some will display the meats and say, hey, do you want to pick your cut or whatever? And I know those don't have any spices in them. So maybe I can do that. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand with my food allergies. I also did talk to my primary doctor, and she was saying that sometimes your body shows it as to be an allergy, but it's probably just like a food intolerance or a sensitivity. So I think that's something I can use my little tracker for also. Hopefully not too many lines are filled in, but again, we'll see how the cookie crumbles. I did get this spread idea from a YouTuber. Her name is X Libriscati, and for me, it's going to be YouTube related. So I am working on doing like a Dutch store sort of situation that I'm gonna make it look like a file folder. And honestly, I am not really consistent with my YouTube in the sense where every single week you have a video, because that's kind of like my target of doing one video a week. But I know some people do twice a week, 3 times a week. That is amazing. I wish I was like that, or that I could just not just pump out ideas, because I do have video ideas. It's just more so of the time of sitting down and editing. And I actually don't have like a room dedicated to like a YouTube space. So I do have to, take down the equipment and assemble it whenever I do want to do videos. So that's something more, I mean, obviously for me, just a little bit of insight of how things work behind the scenes for me. Maybe that could be a video one day. But yeah, I actually told my husband, I was like, hey, can I train you to edit, please? And then he's like, no, no way. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, not because he doesn't want to see my video or he doesn't want to help me. I think it's more like the tech side of things, like that learning curve, right? And that's more so his concern rather than me becoming his boss. Like, not only am I the wife, but I'm also the one who's going to tell him, no, I didn't like how you edited that part. Can you change it or something like that? I don't know. I just, maybe at some point in the future he'll come around. But yeah, YouTube is really fun. I really do like it. I don't know that I dare to do it full time at the moment. I'm very traditional and would rather have a stable income, to be quite frank with you. And I know YouTube has potential a ton, and I could possibly go somewhere with it. I don't know. So many things hold me back. I think it's just like the Virgo in me. Like, some Virgos are just fantastic. They go all in and say, you know what, I'm doing this for me. But I'm more like play it safe, sorta. If you don't know, I've been having a YouTube channel for forever and a half. So if subscriber count tells you anything, I'm not really moving much, so I really do this as a hobby and just kind of go with that, right? A lot of people do actually have a string attached, but I actually don't even put my contact information into the description bar. So anything that I say is truly my thoughts, my ideas, my everything. And just going through a little summary of what it is that I did, I just put a lot of YouTube elements on these pages, and honestly, they're just all blank for video ideas as they come. I thought it turned out pretty cute. Feel free to copy this if you also are a YouTuber and want a little planning content spread within your bullet journal. This was lovely and pretty quick to construct. So now I'm going to do a page that's going to be mostly blank, but I'm going to dedicate it to vacation planning. I think that's another thing. I wanted to do some blogs, but I don't know, like, I go, as soon as I land, I am like on vacation mode. I am a full-on tourist rather than being a content creator. But I think both aspects are pretty fun, so I guess I can incorporate some of that. And to be quite honest, I've had some pretty cool and amazing vacations, so maybe I should bring you along for my 2025 vacation. So I guess it's that time where it's been 8-9 minutes since my touch base on this particular spread. I cut out this thank you kindly from some pre-cuts that I already had, and I thought that it fit great here because exercise can be an excruciating task, and so I would like to just celebrate however it is that I do end up. And this actual title heading also came with another one that I thought was fitting for my YouTube, and it says, what an amazing year. And similar to that thank you kindly, in whatever position I do end up 2025 in, YouTube is a lot of work, and I am very happy and grateful for everyone who sticks around, not just as a viewer or a returning viewer, and also as a subscriber, or even the people who engage with me in the comments. Like, thank you so much, because I know you could be watching like so many other better people out there, and you chose to spend some time with me. So thank you for that, and I hope that you enjoy anything and everything that I do put out in 2025. Coming back to the vacation spread, spread, I have this picture from Grace. The magazine that I was looking at honestly didn't have a lot of destinations other than the beach, but I wanted something a little bit more cutesy, a little bit more fun. This is a picture of Grace. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna go to Grace in 2025, but perhaps somewhere in the future. And I do also have this chill out word there because planning a vacation can be interesting and it's a lot of logistics that goes behind it, from, the cities, the hotels, the transportation, the restaurant reservations, and all of that. Just a reminder to myself to be kind and to not worry about it not being perfect, because at the end of the day, it will still be beautiful. Moving on to a reading spread, and this is a category that I feel is going to take over my bullet journal, and honestly, I do hope that it will. I cut out a lot of little elements that I feel like I can put alongside book reviews as I read some that feel like they belong there. For example, this one, it screams romantasy to me, so if I read a vampire or something, I can put it in there, or if I just read like a beautiful romance. And I did find a home decor magazine in my stack, so I just grabbed this because I thought it was most fitting, so I'm going to use that title for one of the spreads. And I do have a lot of books that I want to read, but obviously not enough time, so I have a wish list spread that I want to do. Also, again, the home decor magazine, some decor that I like, and honestly, this is probably like exactly something you would find in my actual home, so that it would be cute to put some books around some scenery that I like, because after all, I will be reading most of these books at home, so I want to give it some cozy pages, so we'll see how it ends up going. I love this door. I don't know why I saw it and I thought of Monsters Inc. and how, either Boo or Mike or somebody walks on the other side of the door, but I am going to put some book covers here. So I thought that was kind of cool and maybe not innovative, but very nice. Honestly, I am very excited and I think this is going to be my favorite part of my bullet journal. And I hope that is the case, because reading is something that I really want to focus on for 2025, just for overall mental well-being. Oh, this is probably one of my favorite clippings. I love everything from the crown to the flowers, everything. It's actually a centerpiece that goes along with that other romantasy sort of picture that I want to do. Honestly, I don't know why I look at that and I think of Twilight or vampires, but it could be for like a crowning moment, like a world building hero sort of book. I honestly have never read things like Twilight. If that is your favorite series, please let me know. I think I was just a little bit too old. I don't know what happened to me, but I never really got into that Twilight craze. And I did see that there is a limited edition or like a special edition cover of Twilight, like book one. I'm gonna pop it right here because I think it's so pretty. It's like all the vibes that I want to be for 2025. If I was a book, this is exactly what I would want to look like. It really kind of makes me want to read Twilight, but I think only this book one, is in this special edition, so I think book one is as far as I'm gonna go. If you can't tell yet, I was struggling with the design here. I really wanted something cool to be in the background of my mantle. I remembered I had some cardstock paper. I brought it out to see what I can use. I did end up using one, actually on two different pages, I think. And spoiler, it is not the white, just because the background of my bullet journal already comes in white paper. I do know they have some bullet journals with black paper, but I thought that white just offered more flexibility with design and colors. And this picture right here, oh my god, so funny. That is actually Bridesmaids. I cut them off because I really did like the background. I thought that I could use it on something, but it actually proved to be a hard picture to put anywhere in my journal right now, but I am gonna save it because I really do like those frames and the colors and all of that pretty stuff. So one thing about the cardstock, you probably just saw, try not to put it so close to the actual spine of your book, otherwise it's gonna be a little bit hard to flip it or even close it shut. So I did have to take it off and readjust it a little. So looking at my journal now, you do kind of see like the edge in the center kind of peek up, but it makes my bullet journal functional, so I think I'm okay with that. So these two pages I want to dedicate to all the books that I already have within my collection that I have yet to read. I thought that by having them front and center or just at the beginning of my reading spread would kind of give me a little bit more motivated, or remind me of some titles that I have yet to read within my collection before I start going crazy and just buying so many books. I have had a lot of books in the past, and I just kind of either donate them or get rid of them as I read them. So I don't really have an actual library collection, or not even library, because to consider a library, I think it's like 1,000 or more books, and I never have owned anything close to that. So this is going to be my to be read page. I think with how much the door takes up within this particular page, I'm not going to be able to fit a lot of books in this front one. I think maybe like 6 to 8 covers might fit in there, but that's totally fine because between this spread and my mantle off to the right side, I think it's more than enough space to put all the book covers of the actual physical books that I have within my collection. And I'm also going to put a cover of a book that I am reading on my Kindle. And actually, I should probably see if I can get that as a physical copy, just so that I can stay away from more blue or digital screens. Oh, also, are you a audiobook listener? I am not at the moment, but I feel like it would be helpful to listen to a story while I do like some chores around the house and get some reading done that way, or at least partial reading, and then I can actually read the physical text either through Kindle or an actual physical copy. So let me know what your experience is as far as audiobooks go. Another question that I do have is, are you a Goodreads app user? It's mainly to rate your books and give a summary of how you felt about it. I am just planning on doing the reviews through my journal and just kind of have it as a keepsake for me. So just let me know. I love the way this spread came out. I thought that it resembled just a cozy reading corner. And actually, I am just now thinking that I should kind of build a cozy reading corner somewhere in my house. Not that I can't prop in any corner or anywhere to read, but I think just to kind of escape. I do work from home and I obviously live here and I do YouTube here, so a lot of time spent here. Maybe I should take over another room in the house. I can already picture my husband walking in and saying, like, this is your home. Like, I really don't live here at all. I mean, he does have an area in our master closet and obviously his own vanity and whatnot, but I have honestly have a footprint in every single room in the home. And yeah, I don't know, I kind of feel guilty sometimes. I'm like, okay, I think you need a man cave, but no, he's not really home. At least not to the extent that I am. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting fact there. Another reason why I cut this coffee table is because I need a coffee table in my house, and I could have bought it long time ago, and I'm probably a broken record by now. So I put 2 coffee tables in my bullet journal. Maybe one of those will rub on me and manifest and appear one day in real life in my living room. But yeah, let me know which of these 2 is your favorites. I love the mirrored one, but also terrified of the fact that it could actually break. But then the wood one, you know, you can put a cup and it'll seep into the wood and make a ring, or I don't know. You see how many things I think about before I buy anything? Like, it's almost like terrible. I could most definitely be very well advanced in my life, either successfully or financially, or just better if I just did not think so much and so heavy about the little stuff, right? I'm really trying to use this mirrored background, but it's just not going to work. Not for this spread. It's too long and it's going to take up a lot of space. And I actually do have a long list of books that I want to read. I will be sharing exactly the books that I'm going to be putting on all of my pages in my next video. I will actually link it down below because it'll be just a few days from whenever I do publish this video officially. So I hope that you like some of the books that I end up picking, and also let me know for sure any of your anticipated reads for 2025. I am interested to see if any of those are actually in my journal now. I am very excited about reading. It is something that I find to be really cool, and honestly, I'm like geeking out over reading. I don't know if you've noticed, like my voice has peaked and spiked and changed since entering this little reading part of my journal. So here I constructed what looks to be a little ransom note, and it has a cute message, but my coffee table, I had to push it up so that it wouldn't clash with these 2 pages. So I rearranged some clippings that I already had to make some sort of sense, and I came up with a home library has inspiring books with creative names for the well-suited. And then I wanted to put the emoji with the sunglasses, and I couldn't dare to draw it out so nicely, so I opted for this little cute guy. I got this idea after watching Haley Pham's like awards of the year or something like that video. I will link it down below, but it wasn't like a bullet journal dedicated video. It was just like a video theme that she did, and I thought it was great to incorporate it in my journal. So I ended up picking a few different categories. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fill all of these. I would like to read at least one book a month, but so far I'm on my second book. But I ended up going with some themes that I thought would be easy for me to be able to fill up this spread. Up at the top, I went with my favorite book, and then the funniest book, the most expensive book, the shortest book, the longest, the worst read, the prettiest cover, the saddest book, and best characters, which I don't know if I'm gonna put an actual character or a book that just had a lot of, poppy personas. I think I might just do like a book that had lasting characters for me even after I've read it. So we'll see how this 2025 Book Awards spread ends up looking. I'm very hopeful because I do want to read a lot of books, so hopefully I'm able to have something in all of these little bookshelves. And then next to it, I had this magazine. There was something that had a cover that said in the spring, in the summer, in the fall, in the winter, and I really, really wanted to use it in this particular bullet journal. So I am just going to put it as my anticipated reads for 2026. So anything that will be releasing in the next year, or just a book that I really want to get to in 2026. And all right, I think we are done with my journal here. I am just collecting all of the pages that I do want to keep and use for sure at some point in time in my bullet journal. My journal does have a pocket, so that is where I am sticking all the little pretty stuff. But let's do a quick flip through. Again, this is it's a new season, new year of opportunity, chances, challenges, finding other things of interest, and just kind of changing my vibe a little bit. Continuing that over, I have my yearly statistics of everything that I want to actually track in my bullet journal. I am not sure if I mentioned, but I basically have money saved, days exercise, money spent on beauty, luxury wish list, books purchased, books finished, journal expenses, and YouTube videos. And then monthly, I will see how it is that I did. Then I have my money saving tracking page, also my spend tracker for journaling materials, of which I do want to confess I want to buy some stamps. So let me know down below if you have a cute shop where I can buy some stamps from. I might just go to my goals if I don't find any cute ones. Flipping over to page number 6 and 7, these are more spend trackers for my beauty and my books. For the beauty category, I actually do have an aggressive goal, and it's the only tracking category where I do have a goal. The other ones I don't. So I'm actually going to mark down my actual goal here so that I can keep track and know if I have capped it or not. But basically $100 is my budget, and so far I am doing phenomenal. I haven't ran out of any essentials or anything that I don't have a backup of already, so far doing good. My 2025 wish list, however many things I can cross off, that is what I will be relaying back on my yearly stats. I kind of wish I would have planned this one out a little bit better because I don't know how it's gonna end up working out. Again, I will link down the video of me actually filling this in with the actual items or pictures of the items that I would like to obtain in 2025. This page pairs well with my next page, which I have not finished it here, but I will get to it, and that would be a word search of anything and everything that I would like to get, as well as a bingo for me to cross off anything that relates to topics in this journal. And then my handbag log, which is something that I'm very happy about. I hope that it ends up looking like a rainbow of bags that I use within my collection. So far it's looking pretty, of course me talking in futuristic me. And then I'm going to be tying this to my next spread, which will be my monthly handbag. So basically an overview of my handbag log, and then my handbag of the year. I sort of have an idea of what it might be, but I don't know. Should I even mention a prediction? I'm gonna go with my unpronounce speedy. And then, even though I have not yet taken this serious, we are going to get our fitness on in 2025. Trust and believe there's going to be some progress, some changes, some dedication, and it's going to be wonderful. If you're also going to be doing a 2025 bullet journal, or if this is something you do every year, let me know if you include different categories or if you just dedicate it to one specific area of focus, or if you have multiple journals per category that you want to keep track back of. I'm not gonna lie, this took me a very long time to do, probably longer to edit than it did to actually craft the notebook, but I really liked it. I do think that I want to continue this and hopefully I'm able to do great. Now I feel like I need a bum bag that fits my bullet journal so I can kind of carry it from the hip literally every single day so that I can get all of these pages filled out. I don't want it to be a chore, but I do want it to be pretty by being filled in. So I am excited. If I can do a prediction of what is going to be my favorite workouts, I am in between jump rope and running, but hopefully it'll be weighted workouts. And then my beauty self-care spreads. I don't have a plan for this, but I hope to be very active in this department. And as far as my mental page right here that has a whole bunch of blank, I think I'm going to treat it like a diary. We shall see. Now for my next one that I hope will stay relatively empty. I think it's so cute. I can't get over all the goldfish and this nice convertible. I was going to note that most of my pages kind of got stuck together with that glue tape thingy that I use, but I was able to rub off some of the residue. And YouTube. This is something I hope to fill in. Just video ideas, honestly. Most of the time it's just whatever comes into mind. I'll just sit down and start doing it without a script, without nothing, just raw. Definitely no high expectations for filling in this section, but hopefully we can get some notes down and use these pages. And then vacation planning, I've already started doing this mentally and a little bit on paper. And this is primarily planning. I don't think I'm gonna make it like a vacation memory page, but maybe. And you see my pages got stuck. So this is my beginning of my reading stage that like I said, I feel it's gonna fill out most of my journal. And I hope so. If I'm being honest, I feel like I'm gonna read maybe 8 books for the year, which I don't think it's bad. I do want to touch on the Bible as well, which is a hefty book to read or just to conceptualize, right? So hopefully I'm able to, I mean, it's not a goal, but hopefully I'm able to read at least 8 books for 2025. And then hopefully I can declare myself in my reading era. This is intentionally blank because I do want to do my book reviews here. So I will be putting the book title, the rating, favorite quotes, my takeaways from the book, what I recommended, and just things like that surrounding everything that I read. And again, hopefully I can fill in the entire book with reads. If you are still here watching this, you're with me. Thank you so much for spending all of that time in listening to me and just seeing my ideas or how it is that I craft my bullet journal using fellow YouTuber concepts that they've put into their bullet journals before. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please take a moment to consider it because this was a long one and you've made it this far. I will link everything down below as far as materials as well as the YouTubers that I mentioned, and I'm gonna use my spread to tell you again, subscribe, like, comment, do all the things that you would like to, and I hope to see you again back soon. Goodbye.